Hey everybody, what's up? This is the Wayward Kraken Gamecast. It's on popnutshell.com and on Wayward Kraken's YouTube channel. Hit subscribe below if that's where you're at. If you're looking at us, if you're just listening, thanks, man. Thanks for checking out Pop Nutshell. Bippity pop. Anyway, my name's Anthony Patello from Pop Nutshell. This is LB.
What up, everybody?
Wayward Kraken belongs to him, mostly, partially.
Somewhat, kind of.
You're the supervisor around here, from what I'm told.
Assistant too.
No. You're the assistant to the supervisor.
No, assistant.
Devin Patterson, everybody.
Devin Patterson, assistant to the supervisor.
Anyway, this is their YouTube channel where we break down board games and talk about all the things that are awesome about them or all the things that suck about them, depending on the game. And this game happens to be dope. What are we talking about today?
Yeah, man, we're gonna bring out Star Wars XWing, the miniature game. This game is it's a tabletop war game, similar kind of in concept to War Machine, Hordes, Warhammer 40K, some of the giants that you've heard of in the industry. But this one, obviously, set in the Star Wars universe, and it's really, really strong. Mm-hmm. Right? This game is really great. We were talking just before the show, and I've said this to a bunch of the people that have come into the shop. I've not been excited about a game this way in a while.
Yeah, dude, it's grabbed you up.
Like, yeah, dude, it scooped the whole crew.
Since we've started coming in here and hanging around over the last 6 months to a year or so, I've learned countless board games in here. I've been taught multiple games, dude. How many games have we been taught? They have like all of them, all the games.
Plenty.
Tons of the games.
Level, yeah.
This right here has been the talk of the shop for 2 weeks.
Yeah, easy.
2 weeks now. Yeah. We're gonna change the name out front.
Yeah.
Put a new banner out front.
Right, it's just gonna be the XWing Shop.
Yeah, the XWing here.
Yeah.
It is the XWing Shop. Come down and get some stuff, man. All the minis are the FedEx truck finally arrived.
Right.
To everybody's anticipation, everybody's
it took
glee.
about 2-3 hours and everything was gone.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
is it all gone already?
All of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. It didn't last. It didn't last a day.
That's all right. You'll do it again. I'm certain.
Yeah, it's coming in this week. We're bringing in another truck of it. It's great.
Cool, man. So come down to the Kraken and tell them what you want. Flip through the book. Go through the catalog. Find the cool shit because there are tons of stuff. What comes in the box?
Yeah, man.
Get the box.
So there are 2 starter boxes, kind of lovingly referred to as the red box and the blue box. The red box is the
how fucking original.
Yeah, right. Very
cool,
original.
Though. Yeah, right? Like Star Wars, like just redoing stuff.
Yeah, it's a reboot.
Yeah.
Now the red box comes with all of your kind of original trilogy stuff. You're gonna get a classic X-wing and 2 classic TIE fighters, and then the blue box is functionally identical, but you get the Resistance X-wing. You get Poe Dameron rather than Luke Skywalker, and you get First Order ties rather than the Death Star run ties. At $35, that's what we sell it for.
Yeah.
Right. $35 gets 2 people in the game, which if you're a war game veteran is unthinkably cheap.
Does the box come with, because to play the game you need a set of maneuver sticks. They're little measurement sticks. Does it come? You said to get 2 people in the game. Does the core box come with 2 sets of sticks?
No, it comes with just 1.
Okay, I didn't know if you could break off, if we could split a core box.
Well,
always pinching pennies, dude.
Yeah, if you're pinching pennies like a lot of the cats around here do, one of you will own a core box and you're gonna split it with the dude you're gonna play it with.
Oh yeah.
Right, so you really only need 1 set of movement templates, to play a game. You don't have to have one. This box comes with everything 2 people need to play the game.
Together.
It doesn't come with enough kit for 2 people to play independent games.
Yeah, they got that shit figured out.
Yeah, they're trying to make they're gonna make their money.
Yeah, they're gonna get twice their $35 if you want to go show it to a pal.
Right.
If you show it to me, I'm gonna show it.
You always have to find something.
Yeah, sure.
The sticks will be there.
So, right now we're talking specifically to the war gamers. We're talking about the price point and the stuff that comes in the boxes and comes in all of the expansions. One of the things that is, in my understanding of the industry, absolutely novel about X-Wing is that you get everything you need. No other war game does that. They all kind of parcel out their bits very strategically, such that you have to buy way more stuff than you need.
Yeah, you got a phone where you're upgrading your little microtransaction bullshit. That's what they've had that shit figures out for years in the board game world.
Right.
All right. They are the Battlefront of or Battlefront is the I don't know, with the 40K or whatever.
And
a video game.
Right, 40K
charging you for every little bit.
40K is the worst of it, man. Like if you get a squad of 10 Space Marines.
But it's so dope, man. I've seen back here on the War Room these massive
It's
fucking
an
battles.
awesome game, and the sculpts are great. But they come unassembled, unpainted, and they don't come with enough bits to
even. It's a lot of work for a lazy dude like me.
They don't even come with enough bits to build the things that you want. Like if you want, a squad of plasma gunners, you got to buy 5 squads worth of miniatures to get the 5 plasma guns to even put them on the table. Yeah. And that is common in the box. It's great.
This is Darth Vader. All right, so this is the TIE Advanced. This is his movement token, or his movement disc, his little maneuver selector. These are his 2 shields. He only comes with 2 shields to start off with. His focus token, his evade token, his stress, and a target lock. Here are 2 of his possible cards, his possible upgrade cards, and his player card, his pilot card. And that's it, man. That's a ship. Yep. That's a ship. And this guy is beautiful, even up close and tight, man. There's a lot of detail in there, man. Look at that crud on the end.
At the price side of this game is not only massively cool, and we're going to demo it and show it to you, just in terms of mechanics and all that kind of stuff. But we'll geek out about that in just a second. But just on the price side, it's incredible, like how affordable this game can be.
Did you piss him off?
Yeah. The idea. You want to cut?
I don't care.
Keeping
it rolling.
What is it? We could edit this, but we're not gonna.
That's what I do on my show, but you tell me what to do on this show.
Oh, is that
You're
right?
a creative director here.
All right, fair.
It's your brain
Supervisor.
we're picking.
Supervisor.
It's just I'll be whatever. I'm producer to the supervisor.
For way less than $100, you can have a tournament ready collection.
Yeah,
which is unthinkable.
For me, it's one of the games that you can jump into quick. I don't play a lot of war games, tabletop war games like this. It felt fast.
It's massively fast.
And I mean, if you're playing a huge amount of ships, it does take a long time to play. We played one the other day that was 6 hours, dude, 6.5 hours and change.
The tournament setting is it's about 100 points. We'll talk about the point system in a second, but it's about 100 points, and the tournament match rule requires that the game be played in under an hour.
Yeah.
It's utterly unthinkable in the war game community.
Yeah.
Like a quick game of Warhammer 40K takes 2.5 hours. A quick game.
A weekend.
Tournaments in 40K are played over a weekend.
Really?
Yeah, you play like 2 or 3 rounds Friday, 2 or 3 rounds Saturday.
Jesus.
And that's it. And it takes the entire weekend. Wow. LVO just finished up, dude, and it's a weekend event. You might start here and never leave. Because it does everything those games do in a property that everyone loves. Mm-hmm. And it does so with a great deal of love and respect for this Star Wars thing that everybody loves. And, man, it doesn't leave you wanting for some of the things that these other war games can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's massively competitive in that sense. Like, which is the best war game?
Sure.
Man, this thing is awesome mechanically and on the tabletop, and the miniatures are great. And it's an 1/8 the cost in both time and money.
Yeah. Yeah, there's people that were in there playing Warhammer the other night, the Thursday that we got together. Yeah. And, again, promotion. Yeah. Come down here, play some Warhammer on Thursdays at the Way We're Cracking. Those guys that are really, Warhammer enthusiasts that were in there were saying, like, you're getting an X-Wing, huh? Like, how much is it? And when they were learning the numbers, they were like, damn, son, like, I want in on this. Like, this seems viable.
Yeah,
like,
I've already got viable. I've got $1,000 invested in 40K. I got $35 to try
this out. Exactly. Yeah, hell yeah,
absolutely.
dude. Absolutely.
Yeah. You guys ready to play?
Yeah, dude, let's play. Let's teach everybody how to play.
Yeah, but LB, you're going to have to teach this guy how to play.
I know how to play.
Yeah, not very well.
Man, fuck you. That's fine.
All right, we're going to the war room.
Rage quit.
We're going to the war room. All right, man, so we've made it back to the war room, and we're going to do a real quick demo of the game. And as soon as Vader leaves.
Sorry. Go ahead, LB.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to show you how the game is played. This is what comes in your starter kit. You're going to get an X-Wing and you get 2 ties. We talked a little bit in the opener about the starter box being a 2-player set. So you get enough for you to play versus an opponent. When the game begins, let's talk a little bit about the pregame. The pregame is going to involve a wargaming convention called list building, wherein you're going to take a previously agreed upon point value, and you're going to choose your cards accordingly. So, for example, I've got a Red Squadron pilot here. He costs 23 points. Over here, we've got a couple of TIE fighters. Together, they cost 25 points. So we might, ahead of time, agree to play a 25-point game. That would allow me to take this Red Squadron pilot and maybe a couple of points worth of upgrades that he's available or that are available to him. Once we've built the lists, we're ready to play, and the game is played on a 3x3 mat, but we're going to push them in together a little bit to show some of the combat conventions as well. When the game starts, each player is going to secretly take their ship-specific movement dial, which is super cool. Each one of these ships, every X-Wing, flies the way X-Wings fly. TIE fighters fly the way TIE fighters fly. So these maneuvers and their abilities will be different based on which ship you're flying. On that maneuver dial, you'll find red maneuvers, white maneuvers, and some green maneuvers. Those represent the difficulty of the maneuver that you're performing, and they'll have effects later in the game as well. So we selected some movement dials on both sides, and after the planning phase is done, you're locked to these movements. In turn order, starting with the weakest pilot and escalating up to the best pilot, we reveal these die and move accordingly to the plans that we've made. This is one of the coolest mechanics and conventions of the game to me, because the weaker the pilot, the lower the pilot's skill, the fewer options that pilot has as the game breaks down.
Vader. He's a pilot 9, baby!
Vader's an excellent pilot. We're going to reveal his dial, and it takes us over to our movement templates. This pilot has chosen to go straight ahead 2. So he's going to grab the straight ahead 2 template. He's going to place it into the kind of pre-built guides on this base. It kind of slots in right there. And then he's going to move his ship. After he's moved his ship, he decides to take an action based on the action bar of the ship that he's flying. Most of the time, those actions are kind of ship specific. So TIE fighters get to do certain things that other ships don't get to do. Based on your pilot skill, and actually I've got these guys mixed up here. Based on your pilot skill, that's going to dictate how much information you have about where the ships are going to be when the planning or when the movement phase is over. So he's got to make his decision not knowing where this X-Wing is going to end up. So, for example, if he barrel rolls, which is one of his abilities, TIE fighters are pretty good at that, he can set that template right there and barrel roll over here. Right? And that would be his action, and then he's done, and we move on to pilot skill 2. We don't have any of those. Pilot skill 3 is this tie over here. So he's going to reveal his maneuver, and he's going to take a bank at a distance of 2 over here. And he now has to take an action. He's seen where all the pilot 1s are, but he still doesn't know what this Red Squadron pilot's going to do. So he's going to choose to barrel roll as well. And he's going to barrel roll over. Then we get to 4, and now our Red Squadron pilot gets to move. And he's going to take a soft bank. Now, X-Wings don't have barrel roll. They don't have the ability to barrel roll. They're not TIE fighters. And as we see the board now, each of these ships has a firing arc. It's a 45-degree line that extends to the front, left and right. Each ship can have different firing arcs and all kinds of auxiliary firing arcs based on what you're flying. But in this case, we can kind of check out and see that because of the maneuver that he made, the X-Wing has no one in his firing arc. However, this TIE has the X-Wing clearly in his firing arc. So the X-Wing has to decide what he's going to do, and he's going to use this opportunity to, instead of barrel roll, he's going to do what's called focusing. He can take a focus. Most pilots can. This token allows him advantages in the next phase. So now that all the movement is done, we go into the shooting phase. And just like we ascended for movement with pilot skill 1 moving first and pilot skill 10 moving last, we descend for shooting. So we would start with 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. We get to 4. And he has no firing. There's nothing he can shoot at. So he's not going to get to shoot. And that's the importance of choosing the right maneuvers and predicting your opponent's movement. When we're firing, each ship has a primary weapon value. That tells you how many red die they throw. It's color-coded for you. And they have an agility value, which tells you how many green die they throw when they're attacked. So you got a range ruler here. And any shot within 1 is going to favor the attacker. And any shot within 3 is going to favor the defender by adding an additional die to whatever die they throw. The die facings are blanks, right? Both offensive and defensive die have blanks, right? They count for nothing. Offensive die have hits and critical hits, which are hollowed out hits. These hits get canceled by any evades that are thrown by the defender, with the regular hits being canceled first and the critical hits being canceled after all hits have been canceled if there are any remaining evades. Both die have a focus face as well. If you throw that focus face and you have a focus token to spend because you planned it that way in the earlier part of the turn, you may roll those dice over to be hits or evades as necessary. So you have to choose, right, when to spend this focus token, right, strategically, or if you spend it on the attack, you won't have it if you're shot. You still also have to throw an evade. So let's do it. Obsidian Pilot's going to fire into this Red Squadron pilot, and he's clearly at range 1. So he's going to take his 2 base red die, and he gets 1 additional die because of his close range. And he's thrown 1 hit and 2 blanks. So he's put 1 hit toward the X-Wing, and the X-Wing has 2 evade dice that he can throw. And he threw an evade, which would cancel that out, but he also threw a focus that he could then turn into another evade if he needed it. You know, if there was a crit sitting over here, he could evade that as well and take no damage. If he takes damage, right, let's say I threw absolutely nothing, right, and he takes that hit and he takes the crit. This is a damage deck. It comes in the starter box. You can also buy them separately. If he takes a hit, he's dealt that hit face down, and that helps him keep track of how many hits he can take before he dies. Certain ships will have shields, as X-Wings do. So anytime he would normally be dealt a hit of any kind, he just loses a shield. Once he has no shields, that card helps track his hull points. Once he's out of hull points, he's blown up and he's removed from the table. If he takes a crit, however, each one of these damage deck cards has text on the back. So crit cards are dealt to you face up, and they're tremendously violent, as is the case here with direct hit, where this card says this counts as 2 damage. So in this case, he would have been hit, and then he would have been hit twice, which is enough to kill him. And he'd be removed from the table, and the Empire would win. However, let's do one more movement so we can show you some stress tokens. In the event... Right, when you find yourself in a situation like this with an X-Wing or with several ships, in the next movement phase, you may decide, look, rather than to slowly turn around and let these ties just chew you up, a lot of ships will have K-turns, right, which allow you to take your movement template, travel its distance, and turn around 180 degrees. For most ships, that is called a stressful maneuver because it's red. When you take a stressful maneuver, you're going to be assigned a stress token, and you're not able to take actions, right? So you don't get your focus, you don't get your target lock, you wouldn't get a barrel roll, you don't get to take any actions of any kind while you're stressed. I mean, you can fly around while stressed, but in order to get that stress off you, you'll have to take a green maneuver. And those are generally shorter distances, easier, and more predictable moves. So your opponents can say, all right, he's stressed, I have a sense of where he's going to go in the next turn. So in this case, the X-Wing is turned all the way around, and the ties have to figure out what they're going to do. And let's say this tie makes a soft 3 bank there, and this tie also turns around. Ties are massively maneuverable though, so rather than having to rip out 4 and turn around, these ties can do it in just 3. But that would stress him as well, so he'd catch a stress token. This one would get an action because he didn't get stressed. He's currently in Luke's the X-Wing's firing arc, but he's at range 2. However, because he has the barrel roll ability for his action, he could take that barrel roll and travel out to range 3, which would give him an extra defense dice. Right? The ties are massively maneuverable in that way. The trade-off there is that they don't have any shields. So then he would attack. Because he is stressed, he couldn't focus, which means this focus face is of no value to him. He can't use it. But he still lands a hit and a crit. And this tie normally gets 3 defense die, but at range he'd get 4. And he threw absolutely nothing because he also doesn't have a focus. So he would take a hit and a crit, we'd deal him those cards, and he'd either be destroyed or damaged. And that is the entire game. Right? You reset after every round and go back to maneuver, and you constantly fly around the board trying to attack one another and blow each other off the table. In addition to that, the box comes with several missions and objectives that can be kind of changed, and you can set up different types of games, escort missions, seek and destroy missions that change the objective. But just the dogfight is massively fun. Alright. So, gonna get the match started here. We got some Rebellion over here. We got the Empire over here. Got Devin pushing the Rebellion, and he's got Poe Dameron's T-70 X-Wing. He's got Sabine's TIE Fighter from Star Wars Rebels, and he's got Luke Skywalker in an X-Wing. These are this is a real cool example of like the deeper cut kind of stuff that you get in the expansion. Sabine's TIE Fighter is, it's out of 1 episode of like 5 seasons of Star Wars Rebels. Real cool, man. And then over here we got AP pushing some Rebellion led by the man himself, right? You got Vader.
Vader's in the crew, baby.
Yeah, Vader and a bunch of named pilots in TIE Fighters. So we're going to get into maneuvering and movement phase right now. Guys, go ahead and set your dial.
I'm Pickle Rick!
Let me know. All right, yeah, man, that's it, dude. Vader did some real cool maneuvering to get away, but after Luke was gone, Devin was able to put Sabine and Poe in a formation such that Sabine drops an EMP bomb that forces everybody to just kind of drift through space once. And knowing that that was happening, Devin flew Sabine into Vader so that when he moved one, he couldn't advance any farther, so he had to stay still, which allowed Poe to come in and throw 4 dice at him. Devin threw very well, and AP threw nothing in defense.
Bullshit.
And boom, that's the end of Vader. Man, that was fun, dude.
Yeah, it was a good
That
time.
was awesome. That was a
was
lot
awesome.
of fun.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Fuck this game.
It's a dumb game.
Stupid game.
It's a dumb game.
Game.
This game's dumb.
Dude, the Wayward Kraken Gamecast.
Yeah, man.
It's happening, baby. You still drinking this?
Yeah, man.
Back in time.
Right,
We're
yeah.
back in time from before we played that game. Right?
Wait, no, we're after we played the game now, but before.
Right now, this moment.
Yeah, but now is that moment.
I'm me from after that.
Right, you're
this
you
is
from
time
later.
travel.
Right, Devin stayed right here the whole time.
Yeah, we
That makes
played.
more sense.
We played a whole
We played
game,
X-Wing with you.
and it was amazing. We got a bunch of stuff going on here at the Kraken. We added a burger to the menu. You're welcome,
Oh,
Hartfield.
it's killer, dude.
Dude,
The
you-
Winchester is
Yeah,
dope.
yeah,
Yes.
you're welcome, man. That was a combination. One of our regulars, Nick. Shout out, Nick. He goes, "Thank you to the combination of economic forces and peer pressure for putting
Yes,
this
dude,
burger on the menu
absolutely.
because
It
we
is
didn't want to
killer.
do it. Like we didn't want to do a burger.
I don't care. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Burgers
yeah,
is dope. I wanted a Belcher for a long time, man. I was like, man, put a Bob's Burger on the menu. Call it one of his stupid ass puns. That shit's awesome. But I like that name, and it is, man, dude, it's killer.
yeah, it's a good burger.
Fucking jalapenos and bacon.
No, I've had it. Trust me.
Righteous.
You don't got to tell me. I've
Well,
had
I'm
it.
gonna tell you.
Yeah, and so we're still doing Miniature Mondays. We're still doing Learn to Play D&D. We're still doing Tabletop Thursdays, Freaking Free Fridays.
Real quick.
What you
Speaking
got?
of this week,
Yeah,
learn to play D&D.
yeah,
Star
It's the
Wars,
Empire.
yes.
yeah. We're playing
As
Star
the
Wars
Empire.
as the Empire. That's
Man,
right.
I want to get down here. So I got to work in the morning after that, though.
We're done.
Call
before
Reed,
9,
tell him to
man.
come over to my house at like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Hey man,
teach me.
just subcontract.
Come over
He'll
and
do
stay
it.
tonight and teach me. We'll stay up. We'll roast marshmallows.
Yeah. But man, thank you all for checking
Wait,
this out, man.
Enchanted by the we're made for each other dance. There's another.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
other promotions
I
and
got
stuff.
it, man.
I thought you were running every. I'm sorry. That's your show. It's your show. It's his show.
He has a hard
used to
time,
that.
man. He's got a show, and he wants to.
Speaking of my show, let's plug that. PopNutshell.com. We're on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. It's thosethings.com/PopNutshell. Follow us, please. We're gonna love doing this together because these games, the games, this ain't fucking Monopoly, man. This ain't sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It ain't sorry. Okay. It's non-traditional stuff, and this shit's amazing.
Yeah, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, all those places. Check out the YouTube channel, and come check us out for Valentine's Day. We're doing the Made for Each Other dance. We're encouraging everybody to come up in costume, dressed as famous couples. I think me and Cannon are gonna do. We're gonna do like peanut butter and jelly, or I think she's gonna come actually as the Last Jedi's release poster, and I'm gonna come as Disappointment.
But it's like you're gonna split your crowd down the middle, at least down the middle,
Yeah,
right?
we'll see. We'll see what the
Me
reaction
and
is.
Amy's gonna. If you guys do that, we'll come as PB and J.
Fair.
Pam Beasley and Jim.
Yep.
What a waste.
What a waste. Are you kidding me? Guys, thank y'all for watching.
Hey, thanks, bye.